In the wake of global power shifts and rising skepticism towards aging liberation movements, a seismic rift has emerged between the United States and key power brokers within South Africa's African National Congress, ANC. What once was a relationship forged in solidarity, diplomacy, and cautious respect has now spiraled into a diplomatic cold front, marked by growing U.S. disillusionment with the ANC's leadership, questionable governance, and alleged entanglements in transnational corruption. In the years leading up to and following South Africa's democratic transition in 1994, the U.S. was among the many Western nations that welcomed the ANC's rise with open arms. Nelson Mandela was not just a global icon of peace and reconciliation, he became a diplomatic bridge between South Africa and the international community. U.S. presidents from Bill Clinton to Barack Obama held the ANC in high regard, investing in South Africa's post-apartheid reconstruction and economic empowerment. For years, Washington saw the ANC not just as a government but as a moral compass in the global South. While official U.S. rhetoric maintained support for South Africa's democratic institutions, internal intelligence reports and diplomatic cables, some leaked, painted a different picture. As early as the Jacob Zuma era, Washington had grown wary of rising authoritarian tendencies, state capture scandals, and ANC-aligned figures implicated in laundering schemes and illicit arms deals. Yet it was the party's consistent defense of regimes like Zimbabwe's ZANU-PF and its deepening ties with Russia and China that shifted Washington's attitude from concern to quiet hostility. The final straw came in recent years as ANC elites, including figures close to Deputy President Paul Moshatile and Secretary General Fico Mbalula, were implicated in suspicious financial dealings involving foreign entities under U.S. sanctions. A classified report by the U.S. Treasury's Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, FinCEN, revealed a web of bank transfers, luxury property acquisitions, and shell companies linked to ANC insiders operating across South Africa, the UAE, and Mauritius. In late 2024, the U.S. Treasury moved to freeze assets and impose travel restrictions on a handful of ANC-linked businessmen and political advisors. The State Department stopped short of directly sanctioning ANC office-bearers, but its intent was clear. A scathing congressional briefing dubbed South Africa a strategic liability in Southern Africa, citing the ANC's increasing tilt towards authoritarian partners and endemic corruption eroding state function. The backlash in Pretoria was immediate. ANC officials accused the U.S. of imperial overreach, with President Cyril Ramaphosa warning against selective diplomacy that punishes sovereignty. The rhetoric intensified when U.S. Ambassador Ruben Brigitte made cryptic but damning remarks at the Pretoria press event, hinting at high-level duplicity and irrefutable intelligence linking certain ANC members to money laundering and political interference in neighboring states. Leaked intelligence from the CIA and South African State Security Agency suggests that the U.S. has been quietly building a case against ANC power brokers suspected of aiding sanctioned Russian oligarchs and facilitating mineral deals that bypassed international oversight. A confidential dossier titled Operation Broken Bond reportedly details meetings between ANC-linked intermediaries and Chinese arms dealers, as well as UAE-based financiers blacklisted by the U.S. for funding terrorism. While the ANC denies all allegations, Washington's silence has been deafening, an ominous sign that the U.S. no longer sees South Africa's ruling party as a reliable partner. The diplomatic fracture is now spilling over into policy. Military cooperation has cooled, intelligence sharing has stalled, and joint energy projects under the US-led Power Africa initiative have been quietly shelved. Meanwhile, US lawmakers are pushing for more aggressive sanctions if South Africa continues resisting Western-backed resolutions at the UN. At home, this rift is fueling political instability. Opposition parties like the DA and Action SA have seized the moment, accusing the ANC of international isolationism and economic sabotage. Civil society organizations, long skeptical of foreign interference, now find themselves conflicted, caught between distrust of the West and mounting frustration with ANC impunity. The unraveling of US-ANC relations marks the end of an era. What began as a partnership rooted in mutual respect for democracy and human rights has soured into suspicion, sanctions, and strategic realignment. As the US shifts focus to rising African democracies like Kenya, Ghana, and Botswana, the ANC faces a stark new reality: global goodwill is not a permanent currency.